Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajwa. I know I'm not always in the mood for ultra sexy, gourmand, beastly fragrances. There's a time and place for it, but sometimes I just want my ultra feminine, pretty scent. My personal definition of a pretty or beautiful scent is a fragrance that is lightweight, quite airy, a little powdery, a little floral. If it's vanilla, it's not too heavy. Those lightweight airy ones. And in this particular video, I have 15 of such fragrances that I consider so pretty. And I think I'm going to call them the most beautiful fragrances in my collection. Ana Kudri from Latafa is a very simple fragrance. I enjoy the powdery nature of it. It's basically an orange powdery vanilla scent, nothing too much, not your beastly fragrance. It is powdery and gentle and soft and tranquil, a little bit of a sweetness and some woodness to it. This is truly pretty. It evokes this feminine, powdery, soft and gentle. It screams femininity, the peak of femininity. To me, I wouldn't say it is femme fatale, but it's more of a gentle, feminine, I am soft and pretty sort of scent. Orange blossom is delicious, a little vanilla, a little florals, and then a bit of wood to it. This is gentle, beautiful, tranquil, and I consider it as one of my most prettiest scents. Next is a fragrance I consider also a very pretty but elegant. This one feels a little more elegant, and it's a heavy floral scent with a bit of spice. Decadent Wonder from Mazi and Hamra. I think it's not to be inspired by Amouage, Love Tuberose, if I'm not mistaken, and I have not smelled the original. This on its own is so pretty. A light touch of ginger, giving it a bit of a spice, and a vanilla, and the jasmine is what you get for the most part. It is heavy when it comes to the florals. You get your jasmine and some other white florals, but it's a pretty heavy floral scent, but also lightweight at the same time, with a touch of powderiness and a touch of creaminess. There's something quite creamy about the scent profile, a hint of that ginger that gives it a kick, a little aromatic, but you're getting a very pretty floral scent for the most part, and that is what I love about this. It feels a little more matured, slightly more matured, but also very polished and sophisticated. And this is Decadent Wonder, not Dream. This is Decadent Wonder from Mazi and Hamra. So I'm going to put these two together. Mora Silky Rose with La Chama Eclatante. These are quite identical scent profile wise. It's a very lightweight lychee and rose scent with the musky undertone, a sweetness, just a touch bit of sweetness and some fruit. Mora Silky Rose is so elegant, so polished, although very demure and gentle. It is not too much. Very identical to the scent profile of La Chama Eclatante from Mazi and Hamra. Pretty and gentle and tranquil, and effervescent and light and airy. Those are the vibes that they give me. A floral gourmand that is also on the quiet and gentle feminine side is Noble Blush from Latafa. This is so elegant. It is pretty. Your rose milk, it has a gourmand touch to it, but it's more about the rose and other florals. And the gourmand is not too much. I just call it a floral gourmand scent. So it's not your ultra fruity one, although you get a realistic rose milk scent. This is so delicate. It just screams the color pink, pink rose. And the milk is also not a heavy gourmand one, although quite noticeable in it, with the almonds not being too heavy. It is not a heavy scent at all. It is rich and a bit decadent, but it's not heavy at all. I like how the florals come together and give it a floral gourmand touch with the milk and the almond and the meringue. It is not spicy. It is not overwhelming. It doesn't turn my stomach like other milky scents. You're getting the floral aspect of it, and it's so beautiful, so delicate, so gentle, nothing too obnoxious or too much. And that is Noble Blush from the brand Latafa. Sug from Latafa Ana is a gourmand. However, I find it so perfect for this category. A very lightweight, citrusy take on devotion. It is more on the lemon gourmand, vibe, but it's much more lighter and airy. It's a very beautiful, sweet scent. If you love devotion, which feels a lot more heavier, you would absolutely enjoy this one. I like devotion. I think at this point, I would say I like devotion. but I love Sug from Latafa Ana. This one is like a lighter, more lemony candied take on the original one. That lemon candied citrus nuance that is amped up in this one makes it a lot more wearable. In the high heat, it doesn't go wrong. It doesn't become cloying. It is quite gentle, quite soft, but also quite bold. It is a gourmand that fits into this category perfectly. It is quite light and airy, and that lemon, no, candied lemon is the most beautiful candied lemon I have smelled from any fragrance, including the original one, Devotion. So if you want something on the demure, not too heavy, too rich, too decadent, you might want to go for this, although it's not a floral, scent, but a true gourmand, but very lightweight and beautiful. Next is a fragrance I wouldn't have made this video without, and this is Lyn from Latafa. A beautiful, gentle, aromatic floral fragrance with a hint of unripe mango. This is so beautiful. It is sophisticated. The right term for this one is sophisticated. It's classy, it is elegant, a bit matured, a lot more matured, not just a bit, a lot more matured with the turmeric, but not overwhelming in any way. I find turmeric in fragrances, or some fragrances, to be a little too much, but in the case of Lyn, getting the florals, that jasmine and the sandalwood and the tuberose I think it has, is so beautiful and elegant and chic and classy. The mango doesn't come across as that juice, mouth-watering juicy one, or the ripe one. It's just a very musky, a little powdery, a little fresh and ripe mango. That is a vibe this one gives. But the florals are top notch. The florals are the most beautiful I have smelled. Even if you're not a fan of tropical scents, you will still enjoy this one. It doesn't come across as your tropical mango one. No, there is some elegance and polished vibe about this one that is missing from a lot of the heavy mango scents I have come from. And this is Lyn from Latafa. If there's any heavy vanilla scent I feel fits this category, it will be Athena and then Anger. These two, although heavy vanilla, lavender, floral, woody scent, they are still breathable and airy and lightweight. They are not too intense or too much. These are simple, everyday vanilla heavy fragrances, but those florals also come through. That chocolatey nuance, the bit of woods. The lavender is not too much. It's not your masculine leaning lavenders at all. These are quite heavy, but not too much. You can wear it in the high heat. They are not cloying in any way. They perform good. They are elegant smelling. They are a little airy and breathable, not your thick, rich, resonant, foodie, gourmand, vanillas. No, these ones feel a lot more elevated and elegant with the florals, with that hint of chocolate and spices you find in this one, chocolate and ginger. They are very elegant, very effortless, very affordable too. And these two, Athena and Anger, we can just get one. You don't need both. You don't really need both of these fragrances. They are very interchangeable. Performance-wise, they are both great. Scent profile-wise, they are incredible. Beautiful, pretty scent. And these are Athena and then Anger. At this point, I think I have to get myself another bottle of narcotic flower from Mazi and Hamra. Although I have this Flare narcotic, and I've always said it is a fake bottle. I got this one and later found out it is a fake bottle, but this is Flare narcotic from Ex Nihilo. I still enjoy it, although I got to find it is a fake bottle. But I've also used narcotic flower from Mazi and Hamra, and it's so pretty and elegant. You're getting the peaches and the musk and the powderiness and the peony. Peony feels so elegant. The magnolia, the florals. This is such a pretty girl scent. Just go for Mazi and Hambra's narcotic flower blindly. It is very inoffensive. It's very classy, very timeless. Lychee, peony, peachy, woody, musky. That peony touch is so beautiful. It feels elegant and timeless and clean and fresh. I would highly recommend that you check Narcotic Flower from Mazi and Hamra. It is a very beautiful interpretation of the original scent. Felicity from Paris Corner is another elegant fragrance. The note of champagne, a very lightweight vanilla. It is not your heavy, decadent, thick, gooey vanilla. It is not, coupled with that fragrance and the champagne and the musk and the sugar and the fruit. I get something like pear in this one. I don't think pear is a note, but I get a sort of heavy presence of pear in this. This is so elegant. It feels timeless. It feels simple. I mean, it is nothing groundbreaking, but it's still a very elegant, pretty scent. That champagne is so elegant. It gives it a very elegant, sophisticated feel. And this is carefully seasoned. It feels like timeless. It doesn't come across as too sweet, too sugary, too vanilla-y, or too heavy when it comes to the florals, the freesia. It doesn't, and the fruits are also beautifully incorporated in this. It is like very lightweight, but also very present. And yeah, Carefully from Paris Corner. Another floral vanilla I would highly recommend. Very lightweight and a bit of elegance. It gives me elegance and innocence. There's something quite innocent about the scent profile of Mazi by Latafa. I don't know what it is, but there's something that gives it a bit of an innocence. It gives me a very bridal feel. It has some orange blossom and some mandarin and then some powderiness, some patchouli, but it's not a heavy patchouli scent. A bit of rose, vanilla, very lightweight, very airy, very gentle, demure, innocent. There's something quite innocent and fresh and refreshing. It's like a very refreshing scent. It's like a breath of fresh air, something new, something gentle, something tranquil, something that is not offensive, that is not going to do too much. And this is Mazi. If you love your florals, it is quite heavy on the floral, especially the orange blossom. You get a very noticeable, delicious orange mandarin too. And then the vanilla comes in. The patchouli is not dirty, a touch of rose. And this is Mazi by Latafa. Truly an elegant, beautiful. People call it the bridal scent. I think I agree with that. It gives me a very bridal, young bride. Gives me more of a young bride sort of feel. That innocence, that is the vibe this one gives me, and that is Mazi. Cotton Abiyad from Mamlakat Al Oud is a very pretty girl scent. It is lightweight. It has a note of plum and vanilla. I think it's inspired by Ariana Grande's Mod Pod. And this is just a very simple vanilla scent with the florals and a bit of plum. It's more about that airy, fresh vanilla. It's supposed to have the note of coconut. Yes, I get a coconut note, but it's not your heavy coconut scent. It's a vanilla in the coconut with a bit of florals and the fruits, although I don't get the plum as much. And then the powdery, orangey sort of feel to it. A touch of musk powderiness. Very delicate, lightweight, light wear, not too much, inoffensive. And this is Mamlakat Al Oud's Cotton Abiyad. Garam from Latafa definitely had a spot in this. It definitely had to make an appearance in this lace. This is so good, so beautiful. A creamy, woody, floral, vanilla scent. Very lightweight, a touch of fruity undertone to it. It's supposed to have the note of tangerine and then oranges and pineapple, I believe. Although I don't think I'll consider it heavy on that fruity nose or nuance. It is more on that creamy, floral vanilla scent with the magnolia. The original one is supposed to have the note of gardenia, and I think I get a note of gardenia in this one, although not listed. The florals are so light and airy, and the creaminess and the fluffy touch of the vanilla, not too heavy but also present. It screams elegance and sophistication. It's not being too much. I have heard people say, oh, it's nothing groundbreaking. Yes, it is nothing groundbreaking, but it's still very impactful as a scent. It doesn't smell like the very typical, although quite similar to a lot of things around, but it's still very impactful, still very elegant, still very polished, still very modernized sort of form. It reminds me of cashmere, from Chopard. It's like the modernized version of that, although it has been compared to Batiami as the original one. But if you have cashmere from Chopard, it's very identical, whereas this one feels like the more modern version of it, so very elegant, classy, timeless scent profile. That is what this one gives me, and this is Garam from Latafa. And I think I'm going to add Roses the Emotions from F.A. Paris to this list. It really fits into this. A very beautiful rose scent with some raspberry and a bit of a freshness and musky and powdery at the same time. It gives me soft girl, soft, vibe era sort of, feel. It is elegant. It is clean. The fruits are not too intense. It gets a touch of that raspberry, but the rose is what you're getting for the most part. And a very beautiful, light, polished rose. It feels like Roses the Maya light petals. It reminds me of rose petals in a way, very light or baby pink rose. That is the vibe it gives me, with a clean, musky, powdery, ladylike, womanly touch. That is how it feels. And that is Roses in Motion by F.A. Paris. And that is going to be it for today. And I hope this video found you all. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. And I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye-bye.